I think Friends to Lovers has me squealing the most. It gives me the most butterflies. Hello everyone, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video I'm going to be sharing some Friends to Lovers book recommendations. These books are my all-time favorite Friends to Lovers. I just wanted to share them with you guys and why I think you should read them. A lot of these books I've read about a year ago. You've probably seen them talked about, but these are my all-time favorites. And I think if you're kind of on the fence about Friends to Lovers and you're not sure if you like it, I think these will make you a fan of Friends to Lovers. I am a sucker for Friends to Lovers. What I like the most about Friends to Lovers is I like the history aspect of it. Friends to Lovers, there's always that one person who kind of like has had those feelings for such a long time and the pining. I feel like what's really similar with all these books is the fact that they're friends and you can see that the guy like really cares for her on a different level. That's what makes Friends to Lovers so different. The male point of view and seeing like how much he secretly is in love with her and reading about how he doesn't want to ruin what they have right now, but he still wants a relationship with her. That's it. That's it right there. So the first one, this one is kind of like, I guess you could say strangers to Friends to Lovers. They don't know each other in the beginning of the book, but they quickly become friends, and I really like how their friendship grew and their relationship. So the first book that I'm going to recommend is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. I think this is one of her least popular books. I feel like this book isn't talked about as often, but I really like this. I think this is my all-time favorite Colleen Hoover book. I know for a while I was on the fence between Reminders of Him and Heartbones, but Heartbones just takes the cake for me. I think this book is so wholesome and it just makes my heart so happy. So in Heartbones, you follow a girl named Becca. Something happens where she has to move in with her dad, who she doesn't really know. She basically has no relationship with him. He lives at a beach house in Texas and she goes there, and the lifestyle is a lot different than what she's used to. She comes from poverty and her dad is very well off. So she's not used to having a huge room, closet, bathroom, all that stuff. So the lifestyle that she automatically gets dropped into is very different. There she meets this guy named Samson. He is basically the exact opposite of her. She comes from poverty. He is very wealthy. She's kind of very standoffish with him because she judges him at first. She thinks that there's no way they're gonna have anything in common, so what's the point of her being friends with him? But he wiggles his way into her life. Becca has a stepsister. The stepsister has a boyfriend. I think the stepsister's name is Sarah, and then the boyfriend is Marco. I read this like over a year ago, so I don't exactly remember the side character's name, but I do remember enjoying them. Her stepsister's boyfriend's best friend is Samson, and they get to talking, and Samson basically goes, "You should definitely be watching the sunrise while you're here," and Becca's like, "Yeah, whatever, okay." She wakes up one morning and her alarm goes off and she sees that it says something about like, "Go watch the sunrise." She goes to her balcony. She sees that Samson is on his balcony and they watch the sunrise together, and from there they continue to hang out, and this is literally just so wholesome. I really loved watching the progression of Becca and Samson. I think their relationship is very wholesome, and I think part of the reason why I really enjoyed it too was because of the whole vibe of the book. It's taken place at a beach town, a beach house in the summer, and I think it just feels like one of those things where it's like, it's summer, it's carefree. Another aspect that I thought was really cool was there was a little bit of Outer Banks vibes to it in terms of a little bit of mystery and I guess that beachy kind of town. But overall, I think this is a really great Friends to Lovers. I really enjoyed the development of their relationship, the development of their friendship, just seeing them hang out more and more and just seeing how close they got over the time that they spent with each other. I loved it, and I think the epilogue, so amazing, made my heart just so happy. Obviously, this is a Colleen Hoover book, so there is a little bit of a twist. I didn't see the twist coming. It definitely didn't make me cry like her other books. I think this was less emotional compared to her other books. However, I still really enjoyed it. I loved the story. I loved the characters. I think the characters are very likable, and I feel like it's just one of those romances where you're like, I wish that was me, just because I think the romance was so wholesome. I loved the relationship and I loved the book. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So another one of my all-time favorite Friends to Lovers stories is The Bad Reputation Reputation Duet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This focuses on Willow and Garrison, and we meet them in the Addicted/Calloway Sister series. I love them so much. Krista and Becca Ritchie are actually coming out with a newer version of the Bad Reputation Duet, and it's going to become one book altogether. In the original, it's 2 books. We go back and forth between past and present and dual point of view. But with Willow and Garrison, their friends to lovers story was really wholesome. It made my heart very happy. So Willow is kind of this very in her little box, geeky, good girl. And Garrison is a bad boy who likes to code. He likes to hack and likes the internet. I don't want to say too much on their background just because it will spoil the Addicted/Calloway Sister series. However, they meet at a coffee shop, and right away I feel like you can see Garrison is very interested in her, and Willow is just kind of closed off, and she's shy, but she's also intrigued. In the Bad Reputation Duet, you read about how they become friends, how they meet, hanging out. You just see through all those like little moments of them hanging out, their feelings grow and develop, and I think this was so well told. This right here like represent friends to lovers. I think what was really nice about this was we got everything leading up to their relationship, and then we got the present day. So we also got to see like their relationship after all of that happened. I really liked seeing them in high school, and then seeing them after high school, seeing them in college, just seeing that relationship progress, because for a while you can tell that they both have feelings for each other, but they don't act on it. Willow doesn't know what to do because she's never had a boyfriend before, and Garrison, I think he tries to keep it cool, but he definitely shows hints and interest towards Willow. They are a very internet cyber type of couple. They're always talking about Tumblr. They watch a lot of TV together. They're really into video games and comic books, and I just think it's so cute that they both have the same hobby, and then you see them do those things together. It's just very wholesome, and I loved every page of it. I'm gonna insert Krista and Becca Ritchie's post here, but this basically shows all the bonus scenes that's going to be in the new Bad Reputation book and the new cover. I'm not fond of the new cover. I think it looks a little bit tacky. Whatever, I'm honestly just really happy to get bonus scenes because I think these scenes are very important to Willow and Garrison's story. Like I said, this is a really great friends to lovers. I love the development of the relationship, the fact that they started off as friends and bonded over a lot of their similarities in interests. I thought that was really enjoyable and super wholesome to read about, and I just love them so much. I think one thing that I really like about them too is that they're kind of complete opposite. When you first initially look at them, you wouldn't think that they'd be together. They just really mesh well together and they work well. I can't rave about them enough. This is one of the best friends to lovers ever. I rated the Bad Reputation Duet 5 stars. Another 5-star read for me was Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. I was fortunate enough to get an advanced copy from Avon's book, so thank you very much. But this book was so good. So we meet Fox and Hannah in It Happened One Summer, which is the first book. You could read each one without the other, but we do get little bits of Fox and Hannah in It Happened One Summer, which is what instantly made me fall in love with them and it made me want to read their book. So in this book, Hannah goes back to LA and Fox is still in Washington. They continue to text. Their friendship just gets stronger and stronger. Hannah actually ends up going back to Washington on a work project. So there she ends up staying with Fox in his apartment, so it's forced proximity. The more they spend time together, the more they have these thoughts of, I'm attracted to him or her, but we're just friends so we can't do anything. This book had so much tension and the secret mutual pining. This was so good. Like the angst, the banter, the tension. I just thought this was such a fun friends to lovers because you see how much the relationship changed from the first book to this book. Wow, I loved every page of it. This also had a really amazing epilogue. I loved it so much. It wrapped up both Fox and Hannah and Piper and Brendan beautifully. I loved it. I also feel like, as well as the friends to lovers aspect, I think this focused on really interesting topics. Hannah being a young woman and trying to find out what she wants to do with her life, trying to find her dream career, and Fox, and I think with just him trying to be more than just his sexuality, which I felt like was very interesting and was something that's not really talked about within males a lot. I really think a lot of people are going to enjoy Fox and Hannah's book too, just because they're both extremely likable, and I just think the story was so much fun. I just feel like it was a really great friends to lovers. When you think of hook, line, and sinker, think playboy who's never been in a platonic relationship with a girl and starts to catch feelings but doesn't know how to act because he's never been in a serious relationship before. That's literally hook, line, and sinker. Loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. So I feel like a lot of these recs have been very serious type contemporary romance. So here is a rom-com friends to lovers recommendation. Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I really enjoyed this one. This is like the perfect definition of a rom-com right here. So Hazel is very quirky. Think like that one girl who's very clumsy and kind of gets into like little trouble here and there. Basically what happens is Hazel's apartment gets flooded and she has to find a temporary place to live. And her best friend Emily has a brother named Josh. She suggests that Hazel moves in with Josh for the time being. Josh is very put together, very organized, very much he follows a strict schedule, whereas Hazel is kind of like all over the place. It was really cute. So they live together and she's actually known him for a little bit because she's actually known him since college. Every time they've had an encounter, she's done something extremely embarrassing in front of him. And when they live together, they decide they're both lonely. They go on double dates with each other. They go on these different dates. You see each date end in disaster and they continue to just hang out with each other. They live with each other, so you see that, kind of see them reflect on each date, and then you slowly just see them start to catch feelings for each other. It's just so good. It made me really, really happy reading it. It was really fun. I thought this was very fast paced, so I really enjoyed it. It is best friend's brother, friends to lovers, opposites attract. I think Josh is a really underrated book boyfriend. He's the very reliable type, so he's just always gonna be there for you and does the right thing, and I feel like him and Hazel just really work well together and I love them. Okay, I read this book recently, and if you follow me on my other social medias, you know the obsession I have with this book, Collided by Lauren Asher. Such a good friends to lovers. Liam is this playboy with a very bad reputation, kind of like Garrison, I guess, if you will. And Sophie is a good girl who does what's expected of her, never takes any risk. In Collided, we see that they meet at a certain time, they fast forward, and Liam is racing for McCoy, and Sophie's dad is the team manager for Bandini, and McCoy and Bandini are rivals. They start to hang out, you see them spending a lot of time together, and then he finds this list. It's a list that Sophie has that she wants to do during the summer because she kind of wants to wild out and do things that she wouldn't normally do, so it's kind of like a naughty list. He decides he wants to help her. So they spend a lot of time together. Liam pays very close attention to detail. He's very, very smart. He's always reading, which I love. And Sophie's just kind of always dreaming. She's a dreamer. You just see them continuing to spend time together. They both try to deny their feelings, especially him. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, everyone can see that you like her except for you, you idiot. So this book kind of started off slow, and then once you get to a certain point, you see them hang out, then you see them hang out again. You see them spend more time with each other. Liam was very sweet to Sophie. Sophie was very sweet to Liam. You can just tell they're soulmates. That's what I really love about friends to lovers, is when they both catch feelings for each other, but they're too scared because they don't want to ruin something that they have, because relationship that they have is so special to them, whether it's friendship or romantically. They are too scared to take that risk, but once they take that risk, I feel like it's so satisfying to watch and it's very heartwarming. Collided was a very, very good friends to lovers. Just watching their relationship develop throughout the book, amazing. Loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. And then of course, what's a friends to lovers book recommendation video without the ultimate friends to lovers, Lily Calloway and Lauren Hale. They're the ultimate friends to lovers. I love them. I'm obsessed. You can read about them in the Addicted / Calloway sister series. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I have a whole video on the entire Addicted / Calloway universe, and I explain Lily and Lo's stories. I don't want to go too much into detail about it because I feel like I talk about them nonstop and it's so repetitive. They are a great friends to lovers book. I think they have such an epic love story. Amazing. They've been best friends forever. And in the first book, you find out that they've been fake dating for a few years. Lily, you know, hooking up with all these guys, and then Lo, you know, trying to find a girl to be with. They both just secretly have feelings for each other. They start to date. You see their relationship develop throughout the series. It's just really good. Ultimate friends to lovers right there. Lilo supremacy, everyone. And that is it for today's YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed all of these friends to lovers recommendations. If you want to see more trope recommendation videos, just leave a comment below and I'd be happy to make recommendations based on the tropes that you guys requested. I'll see you guys in my next video.